One of the sites on our tours is the Reverend Guy Beckley House, located here at 1425 Pontiac Trail. Reverend Guy Beckley was a Methodist minister from Vermont. He arrived here in 1839, shortly after the death of his first wife, and with several children. He became a member of the Michigan State Anti-Slavery Society, which was founded here in Ann Arbor in 1836. Beckley would serve on their executive committee and would become co-editor of their newspaper called The Signal of Liberty, along with co-editor Theodore Foster of Scioto Township.
Rolling along through the nation, freedom's car, emancipation.
The Signal of Liberty was published in an office off Broadway here in Ann Arbor. Reverend Beckley was a staunch anti-slavery activist and circulated throughout the region to inform people about the institution of slavery and how citizens could get involved in its abolishment.
Roll it along, spread your banners while the people shout Hosanna.
Beckley's brother Josiah had a home just down the road here on Pontiac Trail. Together, Josiah and Reverend Guy built a schoolhouse located at 1202 Traver Road. They, along with friend and neighbor Sumner Hicks, were trustees of this school, which welcomed black and white children to learn together. Indeed, this neighborhood, called Lower Town in Ann Arbor, had black and white citizens. They lived here together, had businesses, worked together, and their children in the 1840s went to school here together. It was this type of community that Reverend Guy Beckley fought to uphold.
Pull up the rails, emancipation cannot rest on such foundation.
We're standing here at the back of the Beckley house, and I have to give homage to the owners here, the Van Rentegem family and the Steinberg family before them. They graciously provided access for the museum and all of our tour guests to come out and share the history of Reverend Guy and his wife, Shyla. As I walk back here, and I see these huge trees and the quietness, I'm reminded that the Underground Railroad often talks about hiding places and the intrigue and the danger that summons in our minds. But it's really about the people and the journey that they made, and so often their stories are lost. But there is one story that we have, and it concerns a young girl by the name of Carolyn Quarles. Carolyn Quarles was 16 when she escaped from her life in St. Louis, Missouri. As the story has been told, her mistress found her looking in a mirror at the age of 16 and cut off her hair. And you have to ask yourselves, why? I mean, what do 16-year-old girls do? Look in the mirror. Perhaps this was the first time she saw herself in the mirror. Maybe she liked what she saw. Maybe for the first time, Carolyn felt and appreciated who she was, just for a moment. And that moment was snatched away by the actions of her owner. You see, slavery isn't so much about the physical bondage, but psychological. And Carolyn made the decision at the age of 16 that she wasn't going to live that life anymore. See, the Underground Railroad is a movement about self-determination, about making a choice. And it wasn't an easy choice to make. I mean, you consider you're leaving your loved ones. You're considering leaving all that you know to make a life for yourself. And so when I think of Carolyn Quarles, I think of her strength and her courageousness at the young age of 16. Now, when she left, made the decision to leave, as the story goes, she told her owner that she wanted to visit a sick friend in the city. But on the down low, Carolyn packed her little belongings and hid them outside the house. And Carolyn then went to the river, was able to purchase a ticket that would take her across to Alton, Illinois, the free state of Illinois. Now, Carolyn was very fair-skinned, and in order to do this, she passed for white. There were notices that were put up for her recapture, and it took her a while to get from Illinois to her, what turned out to be a successful journey to Canada. But on her way, she was assisted by the owner here, Reverend Guy Beckley. And the only reason we know this is because one of the people who assisted her on her journey, Mr. Lyman Goodnow, wrote about it in his memoirs in the 1870s. The descendants of Carolyn Quarles still reside within Canada, in Ontario, and still are members of the Sandwich Baptist Church. Sandwich, Ontario is the place where Carolyn Quarles made her new home. It's the place where she found her freedom. It's the place where she could raise a family as she saw fit. So as we stand here in the back of Reverend Guy Beckley's home, we have to appreciate the assistance he provided in spite of the federal law that said anybody who assisted human property, so to speak, could be fined or put into jail. Reverend Guy Beckley didn't care about that. Carolyn Quarles didn't care about that. It was because of her determination and her courage that she set out on this remarkable journey